Hi, I'm Leo, and I'm 16 years old. I live in a small town with my parents, and I'm the only child, which is why my parents have always been too protective of me. Like most kids, I'm a very disciplined child, and like everybody, I have my fair share of secrets too. Now, I will tell you about a little secret of mine which might have been the most dreadful act I have ever committed. It is a very well kept secret until now. Finally, it is time to lift the curtain. It was an incident that took place about 2 years ago when I was 14 years old. I was a young boy who was not worried much about living my life to the fullest. I still vividly remember that day. It was October 10th, a day that left a mark on me forever. I learned something that day which I will never forget until my last breath. And I'm sharing this story in the hope that you will learn from it and not make the same mistake that I made when I was faced with such a situation. My mom accidentally tore her $10 bill, and so she decided to take a pair of scissors and adhesives to mend that $10 bill. She placed the scissors and the adhesives on the table and went to the kitchen to do some housework and forgot about the money that she planned to fix. The bill was sitting right in front of me. I stared at that money for a while and saw that my mom was still doing her housework. And in that moment, I don't know what happened to me. I'd never done this kind of thing before in my life. I just wanted to have that money. So I picked up the money and went to the market because I desperately wanted the new issue of my favorite comic, which happened to be released that very day. I went to different bookstores to search for that comic but was not able to find it. Finally, after searching for a while, I found a store having the latest issue of that comic. So I went to that bookstore, I looked for a while, and finally found the comic. I picked up the comic and went to the checkout counter. As I gave the $10, I thought about that mistake that I had just made, and in that very second I was filled with nothing but feelings of guilt and regret. As I was about to leave the store, I saw my father, who was there to buy a newspaper. He was standing behind me in the checkout counter, and he gave the cashier a $20 bill. The cashier gave him $10 back. Coincidentally, it was the same $10 bill that I had just given to the cashier. I still remember hearing my heart beat at that moment. My dad asked me what I was doing there. I told him I came to buy a book, and he didn't ask any other questions. We both walked back home together. On our way home, my dad realized that the $10 bill that the cashier gave him was torn. So when we got back home, my dad saw the scissors and the glue that my mom had left on the table. He started to fix that $10 bill, and while doing this, his phone rang, which was in the next room. And he went there to pick up the phone and forgot all about the $10 bill that he had left on the table. After a while, my mom came back to the drawing room and saw the torn $10 bill on the table right where she left it. She picked up that $10 bill and started to fix it with the glue. My parents never found out about what I did that day. I was shocked to my senses. I still regret making that decision and was so thankful, but the thought never left my mind. And that very day, I learned a very valuable lesson, that whatever you do in this world comes back to you. What goes around comes around. Everything is interconnected. If you do a bad deed, it comes back to you in such a way that you least expect. And in case you get caught stealing, your credibility comes into question, and it stains you for life, and you're never able to recover the trust and respect ever again. There's no place for an immoral person in society, so we must keep our hands and our minds clean and avoid stealing things that do not belong to us. Just as bad deeds come back to us, so do the good deeds. So we must avoid such vices and spend only what is ours. I also learned that guilt is a lot to bear. And if a person starts doing these types of things at a very young age, they'll do even worse things in the future and destroy their whole life. It might look really small at this time, but as we know, single drops of water creates the whole sea. Same goes for bad deeds. Doing small bad deeds can cause problems for the person in the future. Please like and share this video, and let me know in the comment section if you think I should tell my parents or if you think I should have told them earlier. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.